Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Most Excellent Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Keith, and with me this week is a musician and writer and a big wrestling historian, um, Mr. Neight Walden. Welcome to the show, Nate.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. We've been trying to set this up for a while, dude. So I'm glad we finally got a chance to get it going.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So one thing that people can't tell from watching the podcast or listening to it, if they're listening to it, is that you also happen to be in a wheelchair. And I know that you've got some aspirations to want to be involved in the wrestling business and be a ring announcer and things of that nature, and maybe a manager. And then also like making music and all that kind of stuff. Is being in a wheelchair, is that an obstacle to those kinds of things, or how do you see that?
I don't think it is an obstacle at all. I mean, there's a place for everybody. There's a character for everybody, and my character just will have to involve a chair.
Yeah,
I
right
mean,
on.
wheelchairs have been used in wrestling for years in some capacity.
Yeah,
And the ideal is, there's been people in wheelchairs that's been heels, but there's never been a real heel manager wheelchair that gets heat, like real bad heat. Like, I mean, somebody getting booed in a wheelchair usually doesn't happen.
right,
And
right,
that's the kind of heat that I'd like to get.
right on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only person I can think of, Stevie Jonak. She would come out in a wheelchair sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, and she was always a baby face, though. You're right, man. It would be.
Yeah.
I feel like it might be hard to get heat because you'd come off sympathetic already, so you'd have to do some serious
Yeah.
working.
Well, I mean, you'd have to come in and you'd have to do something like ruin the main event of WrestleMania and nobody get to see, like the match upon matches, like
Yeah, yeah,
if I would have came in and ruined John Cena versus The Rock, I mean, it would have been over. I don't care if I was in a wheelchair or not.
yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, on an independent level, go, I mean, there's all different kinds of
Yeah.
ways.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I mean,
so
if I start talking crap to a little kid, calling a little kid a piece of shit, I don't care if I'm in a wheelchair or not.
yeah,
They're not gonna like it.
yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Um, that's one of the good things about an independent wrestling show. Um, because you can focus on individuals in the crowd when you're working.
Yo.
It's easy to lock in. And the funny thing is, like on the bigger stages, people don't do that as much.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw John Cena do it recently when
Yep.
he turned
It's good
heel,
for
and
heels to do it. Heels
yeah,
pick out that one particular person. It's like when you're getting a stand-up comedian's getting bluffed. You know what I mean? He goes after that one person.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember I was managing Jordan Dye on a really crappy show, dude. But there was one girl who was really loud, this little kid, and I just tore into her, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I guess her sister was part of the show, which I didn't know, and she came out with a pig on a leash,
Oh, wow.
and I said, "Oh my God, what do we got going on here?" And she said, "That's
Well,
my sister," and I was like, "I said, your sister's a pig?" Yeah. So,
back
yeah.
in 2002, I used to do hardcore wrestling in my garage.
Okay.
Uh, Garage Championship Wrestling, and I was the heel owner. So I was
Okay.
like the Vince McMahon, but I was in a wheelchair, and I would jump out of my chair and elbow drop people, take the title from people. I mean, I was just an evil heel.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
Right on, brother. Um, so other than the I guess garage wrestling, have you taken any steps to kind of try to get involved in the business or?
Every time I've taken like a step forward, my health issue has come in play, and I've had some bad health issues. But I mean, I'm not giving up. I'm 43 as of yesterday, but that don't mean I'm not giving up. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Happy
My
birthday.
Yeah, thank you. My dream though is I want to be mayor of my town.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so
Right
that's my
on, man.
that's my end goal, and we've had the same mayor for like 18 years. So,
Jeez. Whereabouts are you at?
Three Rivers, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, and he won the election by like 250 votes. So,
Yeah. Okay.
not very many votes.
Yeah, yeah. That's I don't know how big Three Rivers is, but that seems like a pretty close election.
I mean, no, he was the only one that ran,
Okay, right on. So
and he
who else?
still only got 250 votes.
So he ran unopposed and only got 250 votes. So if somebody came in and like had a good campaign or whatever, they might be able to take him out. Right on, man. So how does
Oh yeah, I mean, he's a good guy. He's just old.
yeah, for sure if he's been doing it for 18 years, man. How do you even go about doing that?
Yeah, you cut out. I didn't hear you, man.
Oh, sorry, brother. How do you go about doing that? Like as far
Uh,
as running for
you
mayor?
got to get a petition. You got to here in 3 years. You got to get 150 signatures, and then you can
Okay.
take it in and you can run for mayor. I mean, I've lived
Okay.
in this town 43 years. I mean, I know about 800 people, probably more,
Okay.
and I've been running since I was about 14. Just haven't actually ran.
Nice. Just kind of letting people know, this is what you're gonna do, man. Right on. When's the
Oh
next
yeah,
election?
2026.
Okay. You
My
got about a
goal is
year.
probably more like 2030.
Okay, right on, brother. Well,
Yeah.
good luck, man. I'm
Yeah.
saying
Hopefully
when
I'll have
you
my political science degree by then.
okay. So are you studying? Are you in school right now getting that degree, or how's that working?
No, I'm studying for the GED right now.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of different paths, man. Because I got a GED, and then I
Yeah.
went to college. I didn't finish, but it was an experience.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's been slow with me. Like I said, I've had a lot of medical issues. I was paralyzed at 16.
yeah,
And then I don't know. And it's been 20 years ago to this year, they said that I shouldn't even be alive. So back in 2005, I was supposed to die.
man,
So, yeah.
man. So how exactly did your paralysis happen?
A spinal aneurysm. It's a blood clot that exploded in my spine. There's like 3 or 4 cases in the world that the blood clot exploded in the spine. Usually it goes up to your brain and explodes.
Sure.
And when it explodes in your brain, it kills you.
Yeah.
But mine exploded in my spine and it severed all of my nerves from the T7 down.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So what do I mean, obviously you remember like when did it happen? Like what were you asleep or were you actually like doing something? Like
It
what
was
what
like
went down
over
there?
a week. I had like lots of pain, but I was in a juvenile home.
Oh, okay.
I was getting like 25. I was supposed to get like 25 years in prison. And I was there waiting to get sentenced, and it happened there. So they didn't take me in immediately. And
Okay.
it happened like 1998. It was like, I remember the day and everything, June 2nd, 1998. So just a couple days ago was the anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah. And they finally took me to the hospital, but I was already paralyzed by the time they took me.
Man.
So,
Man.
but I
So
didn't do 25 years in prison.
yeah, I was gonna say how did that work out with the case? Like what ended up happening there?
Yeah, they suspended it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on, man. And obviously, I mean, 16 people make mistakes or whatever, so you've turned things around from there.
Yeah, I
obviously.
mean, I've been into trouble a little bit, but only because marijuana was illegal in Michigan.
Yeah, it's not anymore. So there you go.
Exactly.
Right on, brother. And then you said that in 2005, they said you were supposed to die. Like, what happened with that?
I had like most of my blood was infected. It's like 75% of my blood was all infection with like MRSA and just every infection you can think of. Uh, and then so they didn't think I'd make it, and yeah, I proved them wrong.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
hell yeah, man.
yeah,
I'd say MRSA's wild, dude. I know a girl who has MRSA, and
yeah,
it's crazy. Like when it pops up, like when you can see it on somebody's skin, it looks nuts, dude.
yeah.
Like, man,
Well, I've end up losing several bones. I lost both femur heads, like a foot of my upper leg. I have no legs. I lost them to all infection.
wow,
Yeah, so
wow,
I've had a
brother.
lot done in the last year was probably the worst year ever. I found out I was diabetic too, and it was hard getting used to that. And with having wounds that I had to constantly take care of,
Yeah.
it got infected, and I died for 90 seconds.
So, man, when you died for 90 seconds, what do you remember anything that happened?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like one of those afterlife experiences. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, uh, but I mean, I figured, you believe in Jesus and you ask him for your forgiveness, you go to heaven. That's what they say, right?
Right, right, right.
But I mean, I haven't been a good person my whole life, and I haven't exactly followed the 10 Commandments. And well, I did not go to heaven. I went to hell.
Wow, brother.
Yeah, and I mean, it was beyond scary. Like the being in hell wasn't scary. The feeling of overwhelming fear. I mean, take the thing that you fear the most, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and times it by like a million.
Wow, brother.
I mean, when I was in hell, it was a repeat of things that was happening. I was trapped in the hospital, and for some reason, my wife was there
Okay.
with me, and the bed would start moving. Right, I'd wake up. There'd be this criminal show on the TV, and then my wife would be there, and the bed would start moving, and she'd try to help me get it to stop, and then the doctor'd come in, and they'd get it back into place, and then it would start all over again.
Holy
And it
shit.
felt like it did this for, I mean, it felt like hundreds of years. It felt like I was there.
Yeah, I know there's recently been in the news some chick who died and she said she went to hell too.
Yeah.
But she said it wasn't hell like fire and whatnot. It was a like a psychological thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Well, see, what we all need to realize is one thing is yes, God and Jesus is the way through, the light and the path to heaven. But just like with anything, if you commit a crime and you say I'm guilty and you confess to it, you don't get not to go to jail.
Right.
You have to
Right.
go to jail. So everybody has to atone for their sins. So every one of us is going to go to hell. How long
Right.
we're in hell is up to how bad we were on earth.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
might be purgatory, it might be hell, but it's going to feel like hell for everybody until they've done their time to be able to go to heaven.
Man. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Mormon. I just joined the church in October, and that's pretty much exactly what they believe. Like what we believe. The Mormon church is very work based. Like you can't
Yeah.
just say, "Oh, I'm a Christian." You have to put the work in
Yes,
to
you do.
actually get where you need to go.
Uh huh.
So, man,
Yeah, and you can put in all your work you win. Still not going to be. It's still not going to atone for the sins that you did before.
right,
Still
right,
got
because
to pay for
nobody's.
the punishment of the sins that you've done.
That's a scary thing, brother.
Oh yeah, it's very scary.
Man.
And I mean, we got to keep our water positive. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever know, I can't think of his name right now, but he did an experiment. This Chinese scientist, he did an experiment and he had this group of class insult this bottle of water and just kept insulting it and making fun of it. And this other class gave it compliments and, encouraged it. And then he froze them. And then he looked at the particles underneath the microscope,
Yeah.
and the particles on the ice that was insulted were more fragile and more cracked than the ice that the water was complemented. And our body is how much percent water? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
we constantly have insults hurled at our body and we constantly do insults, we're going to always have negative water.
Wow.
And we can't, that's why our bodies can't handle things, is because we got negative water. We need positive water in our body for our bodies to be able to handle things.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that because that's wild, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
Man,
everything is based off water, I think.
sure,
I think
sure.
God is water.
Right on,
Yeah.
right on, brother. So, shifting gears a little bit, you had sent me when you were first supposed to be on the show a hip hop song that you had done. Um, do you how much do you pursue music? Is that something you do, or is that just something you do for fun? Or
I mean, 25 years ago,
oh,
I
okay,
did. I mean, right now I
yeah,
do it for fun. I was thinking about trying to record one last album and
yeah,
seeing if I can push it out there and see how far it goes. But that's about it. Like I said, my main goal is politics and getting into trying to
right on,
change the world. And I'd like to do wrestling still. I'd like to get some kind of little wrestling organization around my area
yeah.
because I know it would sell and I know it would do well.
Right, right. Yeah, man. I mean, if I was still involved, like I haven't done any wrestling in a few years, I kind of shut everything down.
Yeah.
Um, I could definitely help you out a little more at this point. I don't really, everything's done.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just gotta,
I'm just mainly, like I said, I got to get back into it. It's been several years since I've done it, and
yeah,
main goal is if I can get a ring, then I can get it started. So I
of
just got to,
course,
but I got to get things going with me first. That's more important.
for sure, dude. Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, it's always the music and the writing and the wrestling and anything like that um, is always second place to real life.
Yeah.
It kind of has to be, unless it becomes your real life. Like
Yeah.
obviously, if you're Randy Orton, wrestling
Oh
is
yeah.
your life.
Oh yeah. When I was
But
20
on it,
years old, it was fine. But when I was
yeah,
20 years old, I also had a lot more money than I did now.
fair, yeah, yeah, dude,
Well, I
yeah. I
just
mean,
got done suing the state of Michigan, so I had all that money from the lawsuit of Michigan. So
oh wow, nice,
yeah.
nice. What'd you sue the state for?
Neglect because they didn't. I was paralyzed for 24 hours before they took me
Right,
to the hospital.
right.
Like I was in my room, like couldn't walk, peeing and everything on myself for like a whole day.
That must have been scary, especially like being 16, dudes. You don't know what's going on,
You know, you
man.
know.
Did you
I
have
was
health problems
15.
before that?
No, but I was 15. But it was like I was in the hospital on my 16th birthday.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
yeah.
So
No,
this,
not really.
so I mean, there's a chance that if when you weren't feeling good, they had taken you in and found, I don't know how it works, but maybe remove the aneurysm before it exploded.
Yo, yo.
None
But
of
they
this,
would got
yeah,
they didn't do any X-rays. They just came in and I thought I was going to prison, so I was working out all the time. I mean, I was
yeah,
small, for my age. I mean, I was tall, but I was skinny.
yeah, yeah.
So I was working out every day. I'm like, I got to get some muscle. If I'm going to go to prison, I'm little, so ain't nobody taking advantage of me.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, and I think all the working out and stuff like that might have led to it.
Damn, brother.
Yeah, my brother, he's a lot younger than me, He
Yeah.
started to have the same problems around the same age, but they got him in, and that's what they found is a blood clot, and they
Yeah.
found out it was dormant from when he was a baby.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That is crazy. So I mean, it could be hereditary. I know that,
Yep.
like, as far as brain aneurysms, they don't know what causes it. Like, I know they've said it could be genetic, it could be stress, it could be a lot of different things. So I'm
Hmm.
assuming it's the same thing. Like, they don't even know why it's there. But it sounds almost like it could have been a genetic thing.
Yeah,
If your
that's what
brother
I
had it
was
too.
assuming. I My lawyer that I had, he was like, "There's only been like 3 documents."
Yeah.
So he uh he had to go like get paperwork from across the country, from like across seas, to get any information on it. And this is back in 2000.
Yeah. 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 But it's not like 2000 was the dark ages. You know what I mean? Like,
No, yeah, but
if
it
you,
still wasn't.
well, no, but I'm saying they should have been able to freaking to know that you needed to be looked at. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah, well
saying?
in
Like,
'98 they should have, but like that's why I was able to sue them, because the
yeah,
negligence of not taking me to the hospital and doing the proper paperwork.
man. Well, well, I'm glad you're still here, brother, because that's a hell of a thing to go through.
Well, yeah, I'm told that I must be here for a reason.
Yeah, right on.
I mean, I've had several times where I've almost died, so
Yeah,
several times. I've almost bled to death like 5 times.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how's your health right now? Like at this moment?
Um, I get real. I mean, my body is real weak right now.
Yeah.
So I get hard time motivating with the diabetes getting under control. But I mean, I got these vitamin B12 shots for when I need to do something, and that helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that help?
Oh yeah, it helps. It's like gives you a pickup. It's like 100,000 caffeine pills at once. It feels like,
Nice.
it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I've got I mean I've talked about it on the podcast before. I've got some mental health issues around anxiety and stuff like that, so PTSD.
Yeah.
So I can't have caffeine. Um but I can't have caffeine, ginseng, like anything like that. But
Yeah.
people have told me that I should look into vitamin B12
Yeah.
as far as tablets.
Yeah. They
Um,
got the shots too, but I actually
yeah,
take the my doctor prescribes me the shot to shoot in my arm, like,
nice,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. So
So yeah, because sometimes it's just hard, uh, especially with the medicine that I take. I think it kind of because it's supposed to calm you down. I think after years of taking it, you start to feel like you don't want to do shit.
oh yeah.
You know?
Well, I got depression. I mean, who
Yeah,
wouldn't, from everything that
right,
I've been through? And I
right,
take a
right.
depression medicine for that. But I mean, there's been a lot, even before I was in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? By the time I was 15, I was convicted of a felon like 4 times.
Man,
Uh, my mom and dad never were together, so I had that whole custody battle. And
yeah,
before that, and then when I was first born, my lungs collapsed and I almost died then.
damn, damn, man,
Yeah.
man. So how did you? I mean, obviously you were going to go to prison for 25 years.
Yeah.
How did you eventually like turn things around?
Uh,
Yeah,
Honestly, just being in a wheelchair.
yeah,
I mean, it stops you from being stupid, really. I mean, I can't go out there and beat up somebody and try to take his money in a wheelchair.
yeah,
I
fair.
mean, it's not gonna happen. But I mean, I got
Yeah,
in trouble for like having marijuana and stuff on me.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
surprised you couldn't get some kind of prescription for it.
not
Once.
at that time. Not at
Yeah,
that time. I mean, as
yeah.
soon as it became medical, I got my license and all that stuff.
Right on. Cool,
But
man.
yeah,
Does it help? You think?
yeah. I mean, I do it to get high, but it does help.
Right, right,
I ain't one of
right.
those people that are like, I just do it for pain. No, I do it
Yeah,
because it gets me high and it takes away my pain.
yeah. Right
I
on.
mean, you got to do it to deal with people.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I want to. just do something maybe a little fun before we wrap stuff up. Because this is, I mean, you got an interesting story, brother, and it's a lot, to take in.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and like I said, how long have you been a wrestling fan?
Uh, man, my whole life,
Yeah.
like literally my whole life. My mom and dad are wrestling fans. My grandma and grandpa were wrestling fans. My mom had me when she was 16. So when I came home from the hospital, I was in the hospital for like 30 days. And
Yeah.
when I came home, it was on July 3rd. I remember because they said it was day before my aunt's birthday, and it's the 4th.
Okay.
And it was a Saturday, and my grandma always watched Saturday night main event. I mean,
Yeah.
Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Back in '82.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I know as soon as I was brought home, I was probably put in a crib or right in front of the TV. So first day I was brought home, I was watching wrestling.
Oh
I
yeah.
looked it up. It was Hulk Hogan versus
Bob
Iron
Orton, right?
Sheik.
Oh, Iron Sheik. Okay. Oh yeah,
Well,
in
it might have been
'82.
Bob Orton. I have to look it up again, but it was awesome. Hulk Hogan was in the main event, though.
Yeah, I know Hulk Hogan and Bob Orton had a match. I swear it was like July 4th weekend, and it
Yeah,
was the Saturday night's main event.
yeah, I think you're right. I think it is. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not positive exactly
I
what
put
year
it
that
on. I
was though.
sent it to my cousin because me and him's been, you know, like he's a little bit older than me, but we've been watching
Yeah.
wrestlings together for years. We got the big four that we want to go to. I've gone to two,
Okay.
and he got to go to three. Last year, I was supposed to go to SummerSlam,
Right, because
but
it was here.
yeah,
It was
and,
in Indiana.
yeah, and I couldn't make it because my sugar ended up getting like 600, and I had to stay at home. But he got to go to that one, which was awesome. So he's gotten 3 out of 4. But the
Nice.
big four: WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam,
Survivor Series.
Survivor
Yeah.
Series. I've done WrestleMania and Survivor Series.
Okay.
I did Survivor Series when Punk came back from Chicago
Nice. Nice.
because I've been following Punk since he come back. I went to his first one when he come back and all of them like that.
Okay. So you went to Elimination Chamber?
No,
Oh, okay.
almost all of them, but I
Yeah.
went to a lot of them.
Okay. Right on, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been to SummerSlam. Um,
yeah.
not this year. I went before it was $1 million to go. I spent $100 on my ticket and I still had crappy seats. But
Yeah.
now, if you could, I don't even think you can get a ticket for $100 now.
Well,
But
I buy the cheap tickets up in the balcony,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I kind of just go and sit where the wheelchair people are, and they don't ever
sure,
question it.
right on, brother.
Yeah.
Just kind of wheel your way in there, like, hey,
Yeah.
that's cool, man. Yeah, I went to the SummerSlam. Dude, I really don't remember what the main event was. Maybe it was Edge and Undertaker,
Okay.
but I know Triple H wrestled Khali. I think Mark Henry wrestled Matt Hardy.
Oh, so that
Punk
was like
Punk was
2008,
there.
2009.
Yeah, it was the last one that was in Indianapolis, so it was probably 2008. I think maybe
Okay.
2009.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I know Punk. I think Punk was Mark Henry was ECW champ, and he was defending the belt against Matt Hardy on that. But
Okay.
it was the one where Batista wrestled John Cena, so that could have been the main event. I don't know.
I'd have to go
And
and look.
yeah, Batista gave John Cena the uh, power bomb off the top rope and ended up messing up his shoulder. So John Cena had to take some time off from that, and
Was
Undertaker
this
choke
this was the
slammed.
year? This was also the year they both went over at the Royal Rumble, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's why they were feuding. And
Yep.
Edge got choke slammed through the apron or through the mat. So I'm assuming that had to be the main event. Like they choke slammed him through the mat. That's probably it for the show. So
I
Edge
was
and
at the
Undertaker.
I was at the All Out or All In, whichever one it was, the one in Chicago
Oh,
when
cool.
Kenny Omega and John Moxley had that cage match,
Nice.
and they
Awesome, man.
went through the cage and they turned on Kenny Omega.
Right, right. Okay.
I
I
got
just started watching AEW when they moved it to Max.
Yeah.
Before that, I couldn't get it. So, but I have Max, so I just started watching it. I have a
Yeah.
hard time getting into it, to be honest, but
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
you got. Did you watch the older stuff back when CM Punk and stuff was on it?
No, dude, that's what I'm saying. I watched, I think, the first two events that they had, not all in, but the actual
Yeah,
AEW events. I watched the first two, and they were okay. I watched because I'm from Ithaca, New York, and
yeah,
Brody Lee was from Rochester. It's not very far. And I know a lot of people who I know the guy who ran the school, Chip Stetson. I know the guy who trained Brody Lee. Like I know
okay,
I saw him wrestle on the indies back home. So I watched the tribute show that they did for him. I actually fucking signed up for Google TV. Or not Google, YouTube TV. I signed up for a
okay,
trial of YouTube TV just to watch
yeah,
that show, and then I canceled it. But yeah, so I watched like three AEW shows until a couple months ago. Yeah,
yeah.
other than yeah.
Well, I got backstage footage of them practicing because they forgot to close the curtain.
Oh wow, that's wild, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
That's wild.
That's
Yeah,
where I,
so
'cause where I was sitting. I could see the backstage, and I was recording it. Me and my cousin was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you put that up on the internet?
Yeah. I was on my page. It's not on the YouTube or anything like that.
Right on, brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my buddy Apollo Star, he's a pretty big indie guy. I mean, he's been
Yeah.
doing it for almost 30 years at this point. Uh when we were training together, our trainer used to take us to NMW in Rochester. And
Okay.
Chip Stetson, JP Black, uh I can't remember who all was in the match. It doesn't really matter that much. Hellcat, I think, and maybe Don Montoya. But anyway, they were in the back, and they were laying out their whole match, dude. I'll do this, then you do this, and then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna go to this, then you do this. And my buddy has a shitty memory. Apollo, yeah, his memory's crap. So he looked at me and he goes, "Man, if that's wrestling," he's like, "That's a lot." But not everybody does that. So we learned, later on that you don't have to lay the whole match out in the back.
Yeah. No, you can call it in the ring.
Yeah, which that's
I mean,
what Apollo does.
get your basic down. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like your
three
beginning
spots.
and your finisher, maybe your
Yep,
middle.
yep, exactly. Opener.
Yeah.
We're gonna start out this way, and I mean honestly, like there's a whole different language. Like you can literally, there was a a documentary I watched about women's wrestling, and Blue Pants. I can't remember what her gimmick was before she went to NXT, but she did those NXT spots, and her name was
Okay.
Blue Pants. Selena something or other, I think. But her and some other girl were talking about what they were gonna do, and she was like, "I'm gonna hit you with the zip zap and then the boom bang," and like they weren't even speaking freaking English, but they knew exactly what they were talking about.
Yeah.
So
As long as they
it's pretty
know.
cool. Yeah, exactly, man. It's pretty fun stuff.
As long as
Um,
they know.
but it's a pretty big weekend coming up with wrestling. Um,
Uh-huh.
and I mean, but we're kind of going into it in kind of a downer, like with R Truth and Carlito getting released. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
man, I
Uh,
still,
I
dude.
can't believe CM Punk is not in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I see. I freaking really thought Karrion Cross was going to go in with all the
Yeah.
momentum that he's got online, and he needs to be wrestling. So it's
Yeah.
weird that he's not in too, man. I don't understand it. Like,
Well, I mean,
um,
CM Punk's not in it, so Seth Rollins ain't gonna win.
yeah, I think CM Punk isn't in it to screw Seth Rollins. I think he's going to come
Yeah.
out and stop him from winning. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's also got all those dudes with him. But Seth CM Punk's building an army too. So yeah, it's definitely going to screw
Yeah.
CM Punk. I think, dude. So I honestly think El Grande Americano is going to win, dude. I really do. I
Yeah.
think.
So
Yeah, right on.
they're
See,
pushing
somebody
him.
else. I'm not the
They're
only
pushing
one.
him really, really hard.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, I like to pretend it's not Chad Gable because that's funny. But
Yeah.
when Chad Gable is wrestling as El Grande Americano, he wrestles different. Like he does more top rope
Yeah.
stuff, and like he kind of pretends he's a luchador. So it'll be fun to watch him in the match.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Especially a ladder match.
yeah. And with
Yeah.
that freaking with that headbutt he's got, dude, he could
Uh-huh.
cash in. He could cash in and just
Oh
headbutt
yeah.
the shit out of somebody and and take it, man. So it'll be fun to
And
watch.
I was all for this John Cena heel turn until
Yeah.
until I've seen it, and it's not that good.
Matches haven't been good, dude. That's been the
No,
problem.
it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
The
that
best
great.
match was the one he had with Truth,
Yeah,
I think. You
and
know?
then they put him with Logan Paul for no reason. I mean, just no reason at all.
Yeah. That's gonna be that'll
I
be
mean, at least put some kind of reason behind it. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, I
Like,
mean, I think the reason is that Logan Paul everybody thinks that guys like Logan Paul are ruining wrestling. So
yeah, I
that's the
get it.
reason, but it's not.
And not for real wrestling fans. That's like because we
Right.
know it's storyline, and he's not really trying to ruin wrestling.
Yeah.
But we
I've got
know
I've got
where
friends
he's
who hate
going to
him
lead
though.
to. Yeah.
Hate him because of the stuff that he did outside of wrestling. Like going to
Oh
that forest in China where people killed themselves or whatever, and like
yeah. Uh huh.
making fun of the body that they found. That's pretty
Oh
messed
yeah.
up.
He's done some crazy shit.
Yeah, that's
But
pretty messed up.
as far as like how he's took to the business and wrestling, though,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I mean, you got
yeah.
to give him credit.
Absolutely, dude. And
It's like wow, he's that dareful already.
yeah, and the thing is too, like I think he was 19 when not that he doesn't still do stupid crap, but
Yeah.
people, oh man, they change. You can become a different person. You
I
can
once
become, you
I
know,
once made a prank call when I was like 19, 18, 19, to a guy, and I convinced him that he had to go to a morgue to identify a family member.
right, dude, and that's
I
fucked
mean, I
up.
would never do that ever again. That was fucked up that I
Right,
did that.
right,
It's
right,
that
right.
was 40 years, 30 years, 20 years ago or so, you know?
Yeah, and I don't feel like you can hold the actions in. I don't know. It's tough. Like people are gonna feel the way that they feel, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't hate anyone who I don't know. You have to
Yeah.
do something personal to me, and it's gotta be it's reserved for a very hate is reserved for a very small amount of people.
Yeah. And I
Like
usually don't try to say I hate somebody. I'll be like, I don't really care for them. I
yeah, dude.
dislike them.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure, man. But and I think Roxanne is gonna take the women's side. That's what
Yeah.
you know. I know,
Yeah.
I know. So many people are like, "Well, with Rhea Ripley in the match." No,
No,
dude, that's
everybody thinks that's going to happen, but that's
yeah,
not what
yeah.
Rhea
I think they're
Ripley's
taking
there
her out of
right
this.
now just to push younger talent.
Yep, exactly. I think they're going to take her out of the freaking out of the world title picture. I honestly
Yeah.
think Zoe Stark was going to win that match.
Yeah.
I really do. I think, I think Zoe and Kyrie were gonna. I think Kyrie and Rhea were gonna have like a miscommunication, and Zoe was gonna take advantage of it and win the match. And the same reason because of freaking internet stuff, dude. Like she was hot on the internet. She was doing that gimmick where she was making fun of the chicks every single time they would wear something sexy. And that Money in the Bank always has that element of it. Like there's always somebody that the people on the internet have been pushing for that gets in the match.
What I'd
So I
like to
really,
see at the Money in the Bank, though, is like a Money in the Bank for the tag team titles, a Money
yeah,
in the Bank for like the Intercontinental title. If it's going to be the Money in the Bank, make every match Money in the Bank.
yeah, that would be wild, dude.
Yeah,
That'd be wild. Like ladder matches all night.
exactly. I
Um,
don't care if you don't like ladder matches; you would end up liking that.
yeah, ladder matches are fun, dude. I mean, I think Jeff Jarrett sucks, but
Hold on one second, man.
yeah, go for it, bro.
I'm on his podcast right now. This is my mom. She asked what I was doing.
Oh, okay, right on.
uh,
Did Natalie order y'all something or what?
Probably. I'll let you
Alright,
know.
because I'm gonna make chili and there's not gonna be enough for everybody.
Okay.
That's why I hate not cooking enough. Cause
Oh, you're fine.
I'm not
All
gonna
right.
eat it. I won't eat it because I don't want chili. But that's the only thing I could figure real quick for everybody to eat.
Okay. All right. Love you.
Love you too.
Right on, brother. We'll edit that, dude. No biggie. That's why we
No,
record
it's
it.
fine. It's
Put it
fine.
out later.
I love
Yeah,
my mom.
right on, bro. But yeah, I was gonna say, I don't like Jeff Jarrett's wrestling. I think he's boring, honestly.
He just
Um,
needs to retire.
yeah, oh for sure, for
Yeah.
sure, dude. But that ladder match that he had with Chris Benoit back in, I think it was 2000, 2001 ish, like when WCW was getting ready to go out of business,
Yeah.
was a great freaking match. Ladder matches, if you do them right, can just add things, like
Yep.
be make they can be exciting.
What's
Um,
funny is people think that ladder matches were Shawn Michaels and them did ladder matches. No, they had ladder matches in the 70s too.
yeah, for sure, dude. And honestly, even before, so to get Shawn Michaels ready to do ladder matches, he did a bunch of ladder matches with Bret Hart.
Yep.
Before they went to WrestleMania. The first ladder match in WWE history was an Intercontinental ladder match between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Um, and that was just at a house show
Yeah.
to get Shawn Michaels ready to do it at WrestleMania with
Razor.
Razor. Yeah, with Razor.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, there was always in the territories and stuff like that. They were always doing crazy crap, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that there was ladder matches around. I know they did ladder matches outside of WWF before Shawn and
Oh yeah,
Brett. So
way before.
yeah, right
I
on.
went to a JCW, a Juggalo Championship Wrestling show,
Sure.
and a friend of mine got hit in the head.
Yeah.
They threw a big old chunk of table out into the crowd
Oh man.
after a wrestler went through, and she got smacked right in the head. She had to go to the emergency room. She
Yeah.
come back. We got to meet the wrestlers, stay around afterwards, meet all the wrestlers, and meet
Man.
Violent J and Shaggy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you know who Jamie Cox is?
I'd probably have
He's
to look it up.
okay, he's from Detroit, and he actually used to work at Psychopath Records, and he's a wrestler, and
Okay.
and and he was on a few JCW shows, but he would tour with them, and we were hanging out one time, and he was telling me the thing that he loved about JCW was that you could beat the shit out of the fans. He was like, and
Yeah,
they don't care, and he was like, and the
they
fans don't
love it.
care. He was like,
They
if a
love
fan
it.
gets up in your face and they get too belligerent, you could smack them in the face and nothing happens. I was like, dude, that's wild, man.
Yeah, I seen
That's
Drunk Scott
wild.
Hall there, and
Oh, no.
Zach. What's his last name? The one-legged guy, Zach.
Zach Gowen, yeah.
Yeah, I seen him there.
Dude, I know something about Zach Gowen that I can't talk about. It sucks.
Yeah,
It
I get that.
sucks. Man, I just can't, dude. It's not cool to talk
Well,
about it.
yeah, I know you. Plus,
I can
you
tell
don't
you when
want
we're
that.
off the air, but I can't talk about it publicly. It's
Yeah,
not,
I
I
get
mean,
that.
it's wrestling stuff. It's not anything
Yeah,
terrible,
yeah.
it's just wrestling stuff. But yeah, it's funny. Um and it's like one of the best kept secrets in wrestling. So
Well, yeah,
um
just like with one of the stuff that happened at the concert, I probably really couldn't say that either because
yeah,
without proof, it would probably just cause trouble.
exactly, dude. Yeah, you don't want to say like, oh well, somebody who knows somebody told me this.
Well,
Um
just say somebody that I know, somebody that I know, and somebody that I met tried to
yeah.
take somebody that got hit in the van or in the bus, and she was only 15.
Woo! Oh yeah, we don't talk about that. The Zach Gowen thing is nothing like that, dude.
Yeah,
Nothing
that's
like
what I'm
that.
saying.
Nothing like that, brother. Man. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough because if you don't have any proof, that's a lawsuit and a half.
Oh yeah, I mean
Um,
nothing happened. She's like, "No, I'm good." I
yeah, right on. Good for her.
told her you should have. I said, "Money, you gotta get
Mu-
paid."
Yeah, exactly, dude. Go get go get paid. So do you follow TNA?
Somewhat.
Okay, because
Not
they've got a big
really.
show. We're recording this on a Thursday. They've got a big show on Friday
Yeah.
against all odds.
Yeah.
Some stuff going on there, but
I think the Wyatt Six would do great in TNA.
yeah, I
That's
think
their
the problem.
atmosphere. I think is that since they're working together, I
Yeah,
think the WWE just sent the Wyatt Six over. They're all B players anyways.
yeah, man,
Just sent the Wyatt Six over to TNA. That would help TNA's ratings go up, and then it
right.
would help NXT because their storylines are combined, kinda.
Yep, yep. I think the biggest problem with the YS6 is their baby faces. A
Yeah.
group that big that's baby faces doesn't make sense
No.
unless there's somebody for them to fight. See, if you go back and you look
And
at wrestling, the big groups are always heels, and then the baby faces come together to fight the big heel group.
yep,
A
because
big
it's
baby
more
face group is just
it's
running around being creepy.
numbers always win. That's
Yeah,
why NWO always win because numbers always win.
yep, yep. And then the baby faces are like, man, we're all getting beat up. We got to get together. You know what I mean? We got to get together and stop this. And that's wrestling. That's a big old group of baby faces just running around being creepy. It's not compelling. Like there's no, and it's hard for them to be heels because of Bray Wyatt. You know, everybody loved
Oh
Bray
yeah.
and he passed away. It's hard,
That's what
but
I'm saying. Going to TNA would give them a whole different chance to do something different. They could come out and attack the baby faces.
yes, exactly. And that's what they should have been doing.
Yes.
Like if you look at what the Wyatt Six was originally going to do when Bray Wyatt was leading them, they were
Uh-huh.
monster heroes, and they were,
Oh yeah.
coming out of the crowd and beat people up, and like that's what a
Go
group
back to
that
the
size needs to do.
the Wyatt family Phil, but with a creep.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
exactly.
Judgment Day should just be Finn Balor and what's his face?
McDonough,
Yeah, the short guy.
yeah, McDonough with the big head.
And the new chick.
Roxanne. I think that's where they're
Roxanne.
going anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
just
think
them
that's where
three
they're going.
together. That looks
Yeah,
like Judgment Day.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't. At this point, I mean, without Carlito, dude, I know this is gonna seem stupid, but I feel like Carlito was what made me keep watching Judgment Day because Carlito would always do something dumb or something
Yeah.
funny, and I wanted to see what Carlito was gonna say. So now that he's gone, that sucks. I think Judgment Day. I mean, obviously, what's gonna happen is Roxanne is gonna convince Dom to go with her, but she actually doesn't give a crap about Dom because
Yeah,
she's
no,
working for Finn. And so
yeah.
Dom is going to end up alone, and that's going to get him some sympathy, turning
Uh-huh.
babyface. Groups can break up. You know, I think that's how it's going to go. Did you see Liv got another freaking gash on her head? Io Sky freaking knocked her head right against the mat and broke her head open on Monday. So now she's already got that big scar on the side from her
Yeah.
and Raquel.
If they're going to do
Swung her.
John Cena ruining wrestling and give him a faction, which wouldn't be so bad,
Oh yeah, sure.
Dominic should join that faction.
Yeah, I don't watch SmackDown, so I don't really know like what he could do over there.
But I mean, Dominic, John Cena, and Logan Paul. I mean, that'd be pretty
Yeah,
decent for a faction to get booed because then it's John Cena helping. Oh, because nobody likes, you know what I'm saying, Dominic.
yeah,
You know,
right.
Dominic's gonna ruin wrestling too, the way he acts.
Yeah. Dirty Tom, baby. Sam Roberts is the only person who likes Dominic Mysterio. Me and Sam Roberts, and that's it.
Oh, I love Dominic.
Yeah.
Dominic
Tom and
is so
Nick.
good.
Yeah. Dude, so I do a wrestling podcast too. And
Yeah.
in our wrestling podcast, I kept calling Dominic Tom and Nick. And one of the other guys was like, "Who the hell is Tom and Nick?" And so I sent him the clip with Rey Mysterio with Truth, and now because it made him so mad, I always call Dominic Tom and Nick when we're talking about it because I think it's freaking hilarious.
You're like, you don't know who Rey Mysterio's twins are?
Yeah, his twins, Tom and Nick. Dude, it was funny because there was one thing I can't remember what they were talking about, but they were like, "You did something, something, something," and Dominic goes, "That wasn't me. That was Tom." It was freaking funny. And he said it like kind of, off to the side. So I don't even know if anybody caught it, but I was like, and it was way after the Raven or way after the R-Truth stuff. He just threw it out there. So that's pretty funny, man. But
R-Truth should go to AEW and
yeah.
start calling all of the people by AEW by their WWE
Oh
names and
man.
keep thinking that he's in WWE. Like he'll be like,
Right.
welcome to WWE. No, R, no, you're not there anymore. You're in
Oh,
AEW.
it's so funny. I know Tommy Dreamer, I guess, has said that R-Truth is welcome in TNA, which
Oh
would
yeah,
be
he's
interesting.
probably welcomed anywhere.
I would
If he
think
went
so.
to TNA though, he should be Ron the Truth Killings. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Suntan Superman.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's when I started really liking Truth. I wasn't a big fan of K Quick, uh,
Yeah.
but when he went to NWA and he was in that faction. I can't remember who it was, but it was him and two other guys. And he
In
won.
NWA.
Well, it was TNA, but he won the NWA title because they had the NWA. So he would do NWA shows too. Because you remember at the time, the top title in TNA was the NWA heavyweight title.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, and he was 3LW, wasn't it? No, 3LW is that Three Live Crew. The Three Live Crew. It was him, Road Dog. Oh, dude, I'm about to find out. That's gonna drive me crazy, man. But I think it was him and Road Dog and somebody else. And his gimmick was the suntan Superman.
I don't remember that.
Ron the Truth Killings. Oh yeah,
I
dude,
remember Ron the Truth Killings, but not that part.
Oh yeah, and he won the NWA World Title for. Yeah,
I might
he
have
won the
stopped
NWA
watching
World
it
Title for a
actually.
while. Let me see what's going on. All right, I'm about to. Oh, it was him, Road Dogg, and Conan.
Okay.
Yep, him, Road Dogg, and Conan. They were the Three Live Crew, and they won the tag team title a couple times, and then and he had the NWA heavyweight title. I got to turn my camera back on because I went to freaking Google it, or not Google it, but look on Wikipedia, so it shut me down. But yeah, man, that was when I started liking him. Because first of all, the suntan Superman, for a black dude to call himself that is hilarious.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then he was just having really good matches. So
TNA had a chance to really do something great when Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair actually came together. If they would have prolonged it a little bit longer and just kept building up for it and kept building up, and then, you know what I mean, they come together because they had never done that before. Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan as one. I mean, that was something different, and they blew it.
Yeah.
Of course they did. Horrible.
Of course they did. It's TNA. Dude, I'm saying the weekend pay-per-views were so good. Like when they had James Storm and America's Most Wanted.
What was it, $5.99 a week for it?
Yeah.
That's when I first started watching it.
Yep. CM Punk was there with the Gathering with Raven.
And
people don't even remember that. CM Punk and Julio were such a good tag team, man. And people don't even remember that. And
Sting and all of them when they first started. AJ Styles. I remember thinking, holy cow, who the fuck is this kid?
Well, I had seen him because I used to watch WCW Saturday Night, and he was on WCW Saturday Night a lot.
Okay.
He was teamed with Air Paris on there.
Okay.
And they were a tag team. I think they had a tag team name, and they were like AJ's talked about it before, that they talked about pushing them and giving them a name and stuff, but then they never let him use the name. They just called him AJ Styles and Air Paris, and maybe it was Air Styles. I don't remember, but either way, like they ended up not doing anything but having him lose all the time on Saturday night. But they would do cool shit like jump out of the ring and stuff that you didn't really see people do on TV that much back then.
Oh, that's probably back in 2000.
Something like that.
Yeah,
it was early.
I think there's some icons on Peacock that probably have that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm sure they have Saturday nights up on there. Speaking of tag teams that came up with names that didn't get to use them, did you know that Paul London and Brian Kendrick were called the Hooligans, but WWE WWE told them they couldn't use the name.
Oh wow.
So they came up with this whole gimmick with like the masks and the gimmicks on their trunks. They were going to be called the Hooligans, and it was going to be tied into like them having masks and stuff. And WWE was like, nah, we're not going to use it. So they would still come out and do the gimmick, but without a name. Yeah, it was funny, dude. Yeah, I saw Brian Kendrick talking about that once. It was pretty funny stuff. Well,
But you really can't do nothing once you're live.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing, dude. You go out there, you know, and I know that Kendrick and London got in trouble a lot, dude. Like I know I had some friends who did a SmackDown, and the extras change in like a much smaller locker room. They don't get to change with the big stars. And he said Brian Kendrick and Paul London came in their locker room and they said, we're going to change in here with you guys because those guys suck. And so they hung out with the extras and changed in the locker room back there with them and stuff. So I don't know. I guess they had heat pretty much the whole time they were there. But I think Brian Kendrick, until he said the Holocaust wasn't real, that's tough.
Oh, wow.
You know?
I don't know how you can come back from that.
You can't, dude. That's why he's gone. You know? But he's a good wrestler, man. He was always a talented guy. But
he was training the red chick with
Amazing
long
Red
red
or?
hair. No, chick with long red hair.
Chick with long red hair. Emmy?
Karma.
Oh no, Karma was Awesome Kong.
No, not Carmella. What was her name? She was in
Eva?
Eva, yes.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that he was working with Eva. Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't really get better though.
No.
Not really. That chick was not good. Not good, brother.
No. But hey.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think she wanted to make money and she figured it out. You know, she made money. So
yeah, she did.
Good for her, dude.
She wasn't in it for wrestling, but that's okay.
Yeah, because she had that reality show. I think it was called Life with Eva or something like that, and it was basically just her and her boyfriend talking about different ways to get her rich. You know, that was pretty much the whole freaking show, dude. Like, what can we do?
Wasn't she supposed to be working with The Rock too at one point in time?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. But if you got Brian Kendrick and The Rock freaking training you and you still suck.
You know, I'm talking about like in the movies with The Rock.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't know about that. That's funny. I mean, maybe.
That's what I heard. She was supposed to do movies and stuff with The Rock.
I mean, she was trying to do everything. And if she wasn't supposed to, she probably told people she was. You know, like, because if you ever watch that show, the whole thing, like I said, was just them trying to capitalize on her being hot. Wow. That was the whole. It was like, how can we turn you being hot into money? Like, that was the whole freaking show, dude.
Well, there's a couple corners.
Yeah, now they have OnlyFans, bro. If they had OnlyFans back then,
you can do it legally now, huh?
Yeah. Fuck. You can just make content. Exactly. So, it's crazy.
That's what my friend Ty does.
Yeah.
He does video games, retro game time.
Oh, cool.
Right. McLaughlin, you'll want to check him out. I can send you the link.
Yeah, for sure. Dude. I'll check him out.
This for him.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Shoot me over any links that you want me to throw in the description.
Yeah.
I'll put them in there when we wrap it up.
That's retro game time. I get confused with names.
Yeah.
Last year when I passed away for 90 seconds, it messed up my brain a little bit. And like, I even at one point in time was in the hospital for like a day and a half and I couldn't remember who I was.
Oh man, that's crazy, dude. Yeah. I worry about that kind of stuff because I'm 51 and like dementia can start setting in. You know, early dementia can start happening in your 50s. And it's just like, what if, and I got a kid, I got a 10-year-old, you know, I'm just like, what if all of a sudden I forget like who I am and I'm, you know, man.
It was crazy. I mean, it wasn't like, only thing that I forgot was my name. I knew I was in the hospital. I knew I was a person. Apparently, I knew I had no legs. I knew I couldn't walk, but I didn't know who I was, who my mom. You know, like all the stuff that you learn through the years is gone.
Yeah. Well, there's like I remember a long time ago seeing this dude on 60 Minutes, and this was probably in the 90s. He had some kind of a brain injury, or maybe it was a girl. Maybe it was, yeah, I think it was a chick, and the dude was her husband. But either way, like she just couldn't remember stuff, and it was literally like her memory only went back a couple hours, if it was even that long. So she would remember stuff for a couple hours, and then her memory would just reset. Yeah. And yeah, it was nuts, dude. It's not anything like that 51st Dates. It wasn't funny at all.
Yeah. Mine was weird though. Mine was like through the day I kept forgetting the passcode of my pen. And my passcode on my phone. I kept having to ask my wife, what is it? What is it?
Yeah.
She finally wrote it down, and then I lost it. And then I'm sitting there, and it was like, boom. The nurses come in, and they're like, "You okay?" I was like, "No."
Right.
They rushed me. Had to do an MRI and all that stuff on my head quickly. They didn't know. They thought maybe seizure, thought something, maybe a anything.
Yeah, because that's crazy, dude.
Oh yeah.
Right on. Well, like I said, I have a 10-year-old. I got to pick him up from summer camp in a minute here. So we'll go ahead and wrap stuff up. But is there anything you want to say before we go? Like, I know you if you want to mention your friend's game and stuff, or anything else you want to talk about.
Just check out Retro Game Time, Tyler McLaughlin. He's a great gamer, and try to be the best person you can be in the world and keep your water clean.
Right on.
Right
on. All right, Nate, thanks, man. I appreciate this, brother.
No problem, man.
Cool.
Send me the link when you get done.
Yeah, for sure, dude. So, before we go, I want to thank Nate once again for coming on here and spending some time with me and talking this week. And I want to thank Tyler Martin and ME Studios every week, editing this thing and making us look good and getting it up on the internet on time and getting everything out to you guys. And we're working on some big stuff for July. We've already got Jordan Blue coming in, and I've got some other guests that I'm trying to line up, and we've still got stuff to do for the rest of this month. So keep on tuning in to the podcast. And as always, I have been Keith, and this has been the Most Excellent Entertainment Podcast.